Hi, this is Christy with ChristyPetersonPhotography.com, and my Etsy shop's name is Fairy Photography, and I sell digital backgrounds and overlays and costumes and Photoshop template files for fairy photography and editing. This is a tutorial to show tips and tricks and ideas on posing to use in your fairy photography sessions. This, I just happened to have my high key set up when I had this little girl over for some fairy pictures. I normally don't have my high key set up. I usually just throw a white sheet over the background and props that I have set up for regular photography sessions. I just like to throw in some digital images with digital backdrops in what I present to my clients. So normally I have anyway, the white sheets. So the only time that white sheets don't work is in times like this where the fairy is all in white. This is for a snow fairy picture. And it makes it really hard to select her off her background. For instance, this one. It was almost impossible to have all the white flowers selected off of this background, and it was a huge headache. So think about just think about contrast. Don't think about white background. Don't think about green. Don't worry about having. Just think about contrast with the costume and whatever the halo is, and maybe even her hair, and then work with that. So just to show you those two pictures in finished form, those two poses. So if you look at this one, you can kind of see her halo. I mean, it's kind of covered by the wings and the background, but it's just kind of blurry and foggy and not that great. So, and then the snow one. See, okay. Let's see now. Sometimes when you want to have the skirt draping down with what you're going to put your fairy on, like if she's going to be in a tree or on a mushroom and you want the skirt to flow down like this, you have in mind which background you want to use, then you can put her on some kind of stool. And here, see, I didn't worry about putting up the white sheet because I knew I would have enough contrast and it would be fine. So the finished picture with this one is that one. See her little dress hangs down nicely on the tree branch there. You can have her sitting on the floor doing this same pose, only her dress is going to be flat. And you can use puppet work to an extent to drag it down so it looks like it's hanging a little bit, but be aware of that, how you want the dress to hang in your digital background. Sitting her on a pretty flat mushroom when you're putting her on the floor, that would work. Okay, and this one is if you want to get a pose of her laying on a branch. I just had my camera, my light setup bag, which kind of is in log shape, and so I had her laying on that to get an image to get this one. So it looks like she's laying on a branch. Here's an example of not doing the white background all the time. And this is the finished picture of that one. Okay, and when you have stools or I guess they're all stools, you can throw the sheet over the stool. Like in the previous picture, I didn't do that. It kind of makes it easier to select her off, but absolutely not necessary. So this pose is how you get pictures of fairies sitting in trees. This is that one in a finished picture. Or on mushrooms. You want the dress to hang nicely, so put her on a stool. All right, and this is an example of one that I didn't put on. I didn't put the white sheet over the stool, so not exactly a big deal. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to select the fairy off the background. So grab your selection tool and just make a rough selection. Notice I didn't come out here. I'm not going to worry about that one too much, but I am going to hold down my Alt key to take a little bit of that off of there. And then I'm going to click Refine Edge and go for 3 for the radius and moving probably 1. This is pretty high contrast, so I'm going to go 3 for that one. I'm going to put the layer mask as my output and make my brush bigger by using the right bracket key and just around the edges to get the wisps of hair. And now this is where I get the dress that I didn't select, and I want it to be kind of transparent anyway. There. Okay, and I'll move it right there, and then click OK. And then Photoshop refines the edge. Alright, and now this is ready to go just to have the background. Okay, I'm going to grab this one and just drop this one in and click OK. Drag it to the bottom, click the fairy layer, Control T, hold down the Shift key as you grab a corner and drag. And grab the corner and drag. And then OK that. And you can see that some of her dress is going straight out because of the floor that it was laying on. So I'm going to click on the puppet warp and just going to turn the show mesh on. Alright, and put a bunch of anchor points in so that when you're dragging it down, it's not going to move her too much. And you just kind of put points in and drag down. And turn off the show mesh. And I guess that looks good. So I'll click OK. Alright. And that's it for this Photoshop tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching.